Hey everybody, this is Inara Ariane Griffin, and this is the first of Manifesting as If by Magic masterclasses. So I'm going to let people in now, and there'll be more people. Hey everybody.
Hello.
Hey, hello, Anita. Are you in Canada?
I'm in Calgary.
You're in
So,
Calgary.
which is another 2 hours. So it's 7 hours behind. I mean,
That's
it's
what I figured. Yeah.
miles. It's literally, I'll show you that the sun is coming up. This is my
Oh,
window.
wow, look at that.
It's
Wow.
going to be blue sky, but
Amazing.
it's amazing. You know how it is when you're working the other side of the world. I feel like it's
Totally.
lunchtime, but it's only 9 o'clock, which is lovely. So it's a long.
That's amazing. And are you flying back today?
Yeah. So
Okay.
so all good. So I've had such a lovely time. It's been amazing.
Oh,
Working and seeing my brother. So I totally surprised my brother for his 50th, and he was properly surprised, which is really nice. So
how amazing. And being in Calgary. And here's Sheena, who is in Peterborough in Canada. Have you got snow there as well?
No,
No.
no,
wow.
Great.
above freezing.
Oh, nice. My
Oh,
parents will be happy with that.
yeah.
Sheena knows my parents very well, my dad particularly.
No.
So, and she's
Okay.
come on our group to do her healing method with light on acupuncture points. So, I'm going to just welcome all of you and Natasha as people start to arrive.
Mhm.
It's a pleasure to be here. And to give you just a little bit of a preface on this, I'm recording this because if you want the recording, anybody, I will send it to you by email afterwards. This is the first stage of some of the work that I've really been involved with personally recently. And I want to deliver it in a way that is the same way I encountered this way of manifesting, the same way I've gone through my experiences, very informally. I want to be informal. I want you to feel, whoops, like you're in my kitchen. And this is not a training of a sort of corporate nature, but at the same time, I want you to get the importance of this. You know, people use the word manifesting all the time. They use it like, oh, I'm going to manifest a parking space. They use it in language which is as if they don't know what they're doing when they're doing it, but oh, I just manifested something. I just manifested. And what I want to do is break down a method of manifesting using some really spiritual techniques, some of which will, be confounding in a way, because it's like breaking down a process that some of you are already doing anyway, but you don't know what you're doing. And then we're applying it to your big visions. My interest is always in spiritual business, which is all over your life. It's all over projects that don't make money. It's NGOs, it's creativity, it's anything at all. But my focus is because we want to see results. Often we want to see results. And hey, hello, Sally Shakti. Hello, Nicole. Hello, Monty as well. Because there's a trend, hypermasculine trend to look at always results. Like if you don't see it, it ain't happening. There's that in the world. We've been trained into that, to believe that the unseen means nothing's happening, right? And if you don't see your results, somehow you're not in touch with something happening. And this is the first stage of it. So I'm going to go through a little process with you. We're going to go quite deep today, and you're going to start the process of manifesting. I am going to pick up the next section on the next full moon, because this is the full moon. I saw it last night. It was amazing. And in London, it's been a crisp first frost day. So everything has been really bright and shiny. I just saw two foxes outside my window, which is amazing. And all the symbols are there, right? I've never seen two foxes outside my window ever in my life. I've lived here 15 and a half years. So I'm like, okay, something is happening. And I'm watching that. And it's a girl and a boy fox. So there's some kind of unity. Today I'm going to be teaching this masculine way of manifesting and feminine way of manifesting. And so I thought, what an amazing symbol. But the reason I'm doing it on the moons, because anybody who knows how I work, I've broken a lot of the corporate cycle because I used to feel uncomfortable in my skin doing it, pushing, always proving that I could do more, proving that I was worthy, proving. If you just do a little bit more and you give up all the things that you love. And the key piece is that for many of my clients, when they actually ask me what they want, when I ask them what they want, can't even say this, when I ask them what they want, they're always looking at the thing that's going to produce the result, but the result never actually arrives. So they're always looking at, well, I want a luxury lifestyle. That's a key one. Or I want money, or I want a villa. And they spend all this time focusing on how to get the thing that actually, even if the thing arrives, they don't experience the experience that they wanted to have. So they miss out entirely on the huge chunk of, well, it's not the villa that you want. It's the experience of being in the villa. What is it when you're luxuriating by a pool, when there's all the time in the world for you to be with your children or your family or your loved ones, all of that? That's the piece that often is missing. So we end up doing all of this work to get somewhere, and then we don't actually ever get there, ever, because we're always missing the real thing that we're looking for. So I'm going to lead you around this journey today, which is not a complete journey. It's the beginning. And what I'll do is be available over the holiday season to a certain extent that you can get a hold of me and you can say, oh, this dropped in. Oh, this happened. Oh, I saw this. Oh, I saw a symbol of that. So that it's a very nice connection to have. It's not work, but we're really getting into a level of, if you need to tell me something to keep accountable to what you're doing, I want you to do that. You know, I'm available for that, even though I'm going to be doing the winter solstice and all the rest of it, like you guys, and even though it's busy. So I'm going to take you straight on into the first bit by using the singing bowls to get you nice and open. And then I'm going to start asking you some questions. So if you don't mind putting it on mute, everybody, and just say welcome to the others who dropped in while I was talking. Lovely to see you. I'm going to stick to a time frame today. I usually go over, right? So I'm going to be very timely. So if you just relax and get into a comfortable space, those of you who wear glasses, please take them off. Uncross your legs, uncross your hands. So there's a complete balance to the way that you're sitting, lying down if you want, as long as you don't conk out. And because I can see Anita so well, oh yeah, can you hear that? Yeah, okay, great. I had to adjust some of the sounds because sometimes the bowls don't come through. So listen to the bowl. Take a deep breath in and exhale. And another one of those. Deep breath in. Allow yourself to completely relax into the space. And I see that somebody else has just come in, and welcome. We're just at the beginning and I'm taking you into an experience. So just allow yourself to relax and you're breathing. And so take another deep breath in and exhale through your mouth. And then, as if you could imagine that the whole of your skin, everywhere on your whole body, has the ability to breathe. I want you to imagine that you're breathing through the whole of your skin, a bit like a jellyfish. As you inhale, you see the form of it get bigger. As you exhale, it becomes smaller. And there's this movement to your breath that you're getting into a rhythm with. You don't have to know how to breathe that well. I just want you to breathe and feel yourself expanding with the breath and then contracting as you breathe out. And it's useful to breathe out through the mouth rather than yogic breathing where you're breathing through the nose. Really use the mouth to blow it out. So as you're breathing in through every cell in your body, allowing in as much energy, and the energy you're allowing in today is full moon in Gemini. It's got a lot to do with why we're doing it today, because it's perfect for communication. So you're breathing in full moon in Gemini, becoming larger, 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 and then as you're exhaling, just letting that out. And now I'd like you to float to a place in nature that you absolutely love. It can be anywhere on the planet, any season. Seek out the place that you feel most aligned to, most connected to. And notice the colors of this beautiful nature scene. As you're bringing in nature into every cell of your body, you're breathing in those colors and feeling the energy of that coming in, this beautiful nature scene. And you may hear sounds in that nature scene. Allow yourself to pick up what is happening there. Allow yourself to pick up the scent on the breeze. There may be a warm or a colder breeze. Allow yourself to feel the ruffling of your hair, the air on your skin, and how good that feels. And imagine also that as you are aware of the soil of the earth that you're standing on, you imagine that you're standing with bare feet. So you're completely grounded in this place, and you are naked, and you're feeling this immense connection to this beautiful earth space that you love, of nature, the sounds, however it is. If you're not a visual person, just go in your mind's eye to a place that you love and allow yourself to feel this wild safety. You're naked in a wild place and you're completely safe. And then I'm going to ask you the first question. What is it that you truly want? So allow yourself to just experience this question. What is it that you truly want? And feel how you feel when you're engaging with what is it that I truly want? The question. What is it that I truly want? And then if you were to form that into an intention, so it's more active than a want. Intention is a magical act. Every intention is a magical act. And it's the tipping point of the vagueness of, oh, I want this, or I want that, or I want this, or I want that. Intentionality behind the want becomes hyper-focused. And so you notice when I ask you, create an intention, and the intention is spoken in a very specific way. You would say in your mind's eye, I, in my case, Inara, I, Inara, want a villa in Bali. My intention becomes, I, Inara, have a villa in Bali. It shifts to something which already exists. It's not I want, it's I already have it. So notice as you keep breathing, the change in the feeling as you go from the want. The want is very much an old scarcity model. The intention is stepping in to the new you. And when you speak intention, you speak it as if it's already happened. So I gave you the example of I, Inara, have a villa in Bali. If I wanted to get more specific about that, I could say, I, Inara, own a villa in Bali in 2023. I could get more specific. But again, I'm speaking from beyond the event happening, looking back at the event as if it's a done deal. So whatever your intention is, I want you to experience it like that. There's a projection of you moving into a future space, looking back at the thing that you're intending as if it's already taken place. And so for the intention, the piece that you are being shown here is it comes from a future space. Intention is in the future. It's not in the now. So the second piece of information, which I want you to take a deep breath in now. Allow yourself to breathe it. Relax yourself, because this next piece of information will cause a jarringness to your system. So breathe everything in that calms you. Feel that wild, free energy. Feel the beginner's mind. As I tell you that what you want and what you intend is not really what you want. And it's not really what you intend. So feel the system will now try and analyze that. It won't make sense. There'll be a slight chaotic energy that comes through with that, because the mind will say, but I do want that. But I do. And it's like a child. But I do. And I'm giving you a teaching here that what you want and what you intend is not really what you want. So just breathe that in, that piece of information. And allow yourself to settle. You may notice also that when you received that piece of information and there was slight chaos with it, if there was as much as a flicker of panic, as you breathe into your whole body, we want to ask the body now, where was the flicker of panic? Where did that take place? Where did the fight come up that wants to tell me, but I do want this thing? And it's like a kind of 6-year-old. Yeah, I do want that thing. I do intend that thing. Where does that reside in your body? And allow yourself to fully breathe it in and ask your body to just indicate where in your body is the instant fight on that. And you're all doing really well. And so I'm going to bring you now back out into a space where we can experience talking about this. So if you bring your hands, bring the palms together, rub your palms together. Rub, 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 rub. Really generate heat. And then place your palms over your closed eyes. Breathe in fully and exhale through your mouth. And then you can rub your temples, the back of the neck, front of the throat, heart. Do your shoulders as well. Shake your hands. And just come back into the space. And welcome to those who jumped in while I was speaking. So if you come back into the space, I'd like to, have a few conversations with you, with different people about that experience. And that there's a level of trust. So I just want you to feel it, not to, well, now you want to analyze it. So let's go there. Does anybody want to tell me anything? Tell the group what you wanted and then how that shifts to your intention and what it was like to hear that what you want isn't what you want. Nicole, let's bring you in. Yeah. Hey.
All right. Hi. So in the beginning, it was like, oh, I want to have this like glamping yurt property, like Airbnb retreat center kind of thing in Montana. There's like a specific spot that I want it. And then to have a family, and it's like very specific around wanting it to be with a man that like travels and does things. And when you said it's not what you really want, I was like, I don't know, there was something that actually landed with that where it was like, whoa, what if it's not? And then it was like the heart grip of like, but I do want it, this like the family and like that kind of thing. But I felt it in my heart space a lot around the like that feeling of like, but that is like what my heart's been like wanting. But at the same time, something about it felt really true. And then it was like the part my mind went into was like, what if that isn't, then what is it? If that's not what I actually, then what else is there if that's not it, kind of a thing. So it was really interesting to see what came up underneath that. So yeah, that was cool.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else? I'm going to try and see everybody who's here. Does anybody else? Natasha, let's put you in there. Yeah.
Hello. So yeah, that was quite interesting. So for me, it was about creating this space in Portugal, and similar retreat place, just somewhere I can feel home in the trees by a river. Felt really lovely, felt really luscious, and also about bringing in more clients and working with people in a really powerful way, and kind of had a number of people that I wanted to work with. And then when you said you don't want to, like, you don't, that's not what you really want, I was like, oh, okay. Now I think there was more confusion. It was like, do I want it? Do I not want it? Like, yeah, I'm sure I want it. So there was all this dialogue going on. When you asked us where in the body, it was really interesting. Very clearly my left ovary.
Right.
Like I could
Very
feel it right
specific.
there. It's very specific, very, yeah, I just really felt it really strongly right there. It was just like, not happy.
Having a little rebellion.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was interesting.
Thank you. That's great. Anybody else would like to tell us your intention?
I had my hand up.
You do, so I can't see your hand.
My hand.
There you go.
Well, good morning from California. I've been up for a while, but I'm moving slow today. So what came up for me, what I was thinking about, what I want right now is to get another tenant in my granny unit, my apartment, my rental, and also for a great roommate. And then when it shifted to that's not really what you want, what I realized is I really want financial, stability, and knowing that a certain amount of money that's coming in every month. And yeah, I mean, I could go on about that, but I think one thing I was going to add, that I'm assuming pretty much all of us are self-employed, but I just came to this realization just in the last week after being self-employed for 40 years since I was 18, yeah, that you're just on the constant hustle, unless your business is really thriving, but it's like a constant hustle. So yeah, I'd love the financial stability. So that's what came up for me.
Great. Well, thank you for that. It so supports everybody else to hear what different people want. And that, did you get the thing in your body anywhere?
I feel like I got it in my chest and my lungs, which is actually my weak spot, having asthma. Yeah. And there. So I did.
Great. So you felt that.
Yeah.
Does anybody else want one more of what you want and what it was like to be told that's not what you want? Anita, come on in.
Here we go.
You're muted. Oh, there you go.
Perfect. So I had lots of dialogue going on in my head. So I think the first thing I was wanting and intending was good health. And that was the first thing. And then second was a villa, a place in Italy, 2023, very specific, May, June through till October. And it was really about intending to have time with friends and family. And then I think success in the business was sort of really tertiary, because I think hopefully that will happen. But the intention was those two things. And then the muddle, the scrambled eggs going on when he was like, no, you don't want good health. And yes, I do. But I think my head was saying, well, you've got to put in the work to get there. It's not just going to happen. And I had a really strong sensation in my right breast. And I think I've got to go and have mammograms. I'm late and blah, blah, blah. So I thought, well, that was very timely to go and just put the work in and prioritize on that, because it can't come on a plate. And I know I've got to do it. And that without that, then the domino effect, can't happen. So I think that was my outtake from that, is the health thing, just sort it out, and then hopefully everything else will flow.
Well, great. Thank you very much for all of you. So I'm going to just speak into this. Let me just do pin removal, remove you. So when we go into these spaces, imagine from when you were 0 age and you came into the world. Babies have wants, and they basically just deliver a series of communications around wants. I want this, I want that. I can't speak, but I want this and I want that. And then I want this and I want that. Depending upon how much your parents were able to comfort and cater to that, you will have maybe a range of anxiety around getting your needs met. The people who didn't get their needs met, it'll just be a higher level of anxiety up the scale. But even the ones that did get their needs met, they're always coming up with this constant flow of wants. In fact, we are just machines that want. We want. And the other thing that happens is when you get what you want, you often want immediately something else. Right? So there's this constant movement of want. When you make it an intention, which is more like a specific, as I was saying, magical act. Intention, the use of the word intention very strongly in, let's say, shamanic systems or medicine woman systems or magical systems, is not the same as a want. It's got a force behind it. It's like, I intend this thing, therefore it will happen. And the energy of the intending is actually a strong masculine force. And all of us have been brought up with thousands and thousands of years of patriarchal methodology of how you get your wants met. Is you prove yourself that you're invaluable, you prove that you're good at what you do. It's visible, it's seen. You've got to witness the rise of your empire in order for it to be real. And the masculine, when you bring in the masculine, which is a big important piece, it's got all this history of it as being, and then you're validated, right? When you get what you want, you're validated. The unseen, the mysteries, the spaces that are more like a calling or what you're here on the planet to do. And if you have a perspective of this as many lives, that this is just one chapter in a very long string of events that's going to take place where you have manifested as a being that has a specific soul blueprint that is here to experience a specific set of experiences. None of that works with intention, because this is like the mystery space that we've come in with. When I knew that I had a calling, and some of you will probably relate to this, my calling has always been spiritual, always. I just happen to have this big, business head, I believe actually from many past lives. It's not through this life. I didn't study for any of that stuff. I didn't have any a family who was business oriented. I was the only one who ended up in that world, and I was the one who made the millions in a family that doesn't even recognize money, doesn't on either side, has no interest in it really, has academia. So if I show my academic abilities, I get patted on the head. If I show my business abilities in this family, they don't care, right? I am not seen in that capacity because it's not their values. So I'm telling you this because the calling is a big part of the feminine mysteries, shall we say, that you will feel this calling in a It'll be like why you meet certain people, why you go to certain places, and you have a little pulse that goes through and you're like, ooh, I feel good here. I feel this is my place. All of that energy there has got no intention at all. It's not intentional. It's spacious. And a calling, if you can feel the difference between intention is like that, a calling is like this. A calling, when you're operating with your calling, you're feeling like you're being pulled forward into something. You're feeling like you expand and grow into something. I know, for instance, just using Natasha as an example, with your permission, you feel very strongly about the planet. And when we've worked in business situations, it isn't good enough unless her work is also helping the planet, right? It's this kind of big piece that is your calling. But you only see that actually at the back end of your messaging. Most of the front end messaging isn't saying that all the time. It's saying other things, right? To do the masculine, which is proving who I am and what I do and this and that. And I work with these people. But always in the backdrop of Natasha's messaging is this big piece about helping the planet and working with conscious people. That's your calling. And your calling cannot be intended. So when you're speaking want, desire, intention, what is missing immediately in this manifestation toolbox, because we all saw The Secret, I presume. Did we all see The Secret? Many of us saw The Secret, right? Or were influenced by it. The idea is, and it won't work for Sheena because Sheena isn't visual, right? So you're supposed to visualize what you want, and you do vision boards about what you want, and you intend what you want, and you've got these visible manifestations all over your house to remind you what you want. And that is how you get what you want. That was The Secret. It was missing a massive chunk that goes with that, because that is effective, and it has a certain viability in manifesting, that you situate yourself in what you want. But it didn't go into the detail of, first of all, when you're looking at intention, the positionality of intention is after it's happened. It's not before it's happened. It's after it's happened. So intention is always in the future, from wherever we are. And there's a stretch from where we are to where we want to go, but intention is after where you want to go. It's not even where you want to go. Intention is after, looking back on the thing and saying, oh yeah, I got that. Oh yeah, I got that. Almost immediately you say, and now I want this. Intention then moves to the future of what you want, speaks it into being as if it's already happened, because that's got to be the feeling of it. Are you following this? Just want to get that you're following me on this piece. And so our intentions will be replaced continuously, future into the future, into the future, into the future, into the future. It's off screen. It's somewhere out here, right? Calling, however, which is the mysteries, is the pulse that you experience when you're in energetic alignment with your body, with your circumstances, with your calling is the best language I have for it, of the mysteries. The calling is the thing that you really came here to do. It's really, really, if you imagine, and I ask this question many times in different ways, but the best way I've found to say it is, it's the end of your life. It's the last day. It's been a good life, so it's not a bummer. It's been a great life. But as you look back from that position of, I'm looking back on my life, the memoirs and whatever, what comes up as calling is, did you have any regrets? Did you fulfill yourself? Did you fulfill on the experience? And we can all even feel that by stepping into our future moment of the death moment and going, oh, I can already feel that regret right now, actually. So again, there's this long line that goes from right here to future that then allows us to look back at, and then we go, I'm not doing enough of that thing that I love now. It takes us over there to look back to go, oh, I see it now from a future perspective. So let's have another moment of conversation, because this is just the very beginning of the manifestation space. One of the things that I've spoken about, which is I'm going to be doing the 11 Kings and Queens work in the spring, which is I always work in the right season for the right thing, and that's planting season. But as I've done more and more of this work myself, of the planting the intention, and you plant the seed of your next level, what I'm deeply inquiring into is not the planting, but it's the conditions that you're planting it into. It's the conditions of the soil, if you like, on a very, very simple level. As a gardener or as a farmer, there's a whole piece that intention never looks at. Intention looks at the planting of the seed. I intend this thing, I'm going to plant this thing, I'm going to give it my all, this is the hypermasculine, it's going to happen. Conditions, space of soil, your conditions, is the feminine. And it's right here, right now. Never mind about spring, I work very much in the timing, but there's this time right now. Why I'm doing this right now is because this is the perfect timing for you to start to work on your conditions. And if you understand this so far, I'm going to throw another piece in. From the position of where you are right now with your conditions, whatever is going on for you, it doesn't matter in life, in circumstance, this is an old operating system. This is your old operating system, how you're seeing things, who you are, how you're operating, everything right now is your old operating system. It's got a ton of clunky things that go on around want, clunky things about how I will be received if I ask really for what I want, really, really, how I will be judged even by my intention. All of that is old operating system in the now, right here, right now. It's happening right now. And that is the conditions that you're planting into. Your soil is here and now, right? And your soil has got this feeling around you, which it can't speak in the same language as, oh, I got this thing, I see this thing, I made this money, I can prove myself. It hasn't got that. It's in silence. It's in feely indicators. And so one of the key things you will notice when I said, you don't get, and you will have heard it like this, you don't get to have what you want, right? That's not what I was saying, but the body will have responded and gone, like a 6-year-old, but I want that thing, I want that thing. So how do we access the conditions of an old operating system, which is not your next level you, right? You're not at your next level. You can't be until you are, right? And right now you're in the conditions space of the feminine, and the only language that it knows is, it's my calling. I feel it. My body will react if I'm a yes or a no to something. I will have, I should have had a mini rebellion going on somewhere in my body when I told you on purpose that you don't want what you really want. How you will have heard it is you don't get what you want. And there will have been anarchy going on somewhere, right? Right breast, left ovary kicked off, heart, chakra, whatever, went, I don't get what I want. And that's the most important part of the work right now to start manifesting, is this observation at a very, very deep level of what kicked off, where was the kickoff happening, what is my calling, what is the space, what are the conditions, and what's the experience of my old operating system right now. So I'll open up the floor again for any conversation, questions, anything at all that you want to say to this, just as you're digesting. Silence.
I'll say something that's really valuable that came through me, which I already had figured out what the umbrella of all my work is self-love. But like when you were talking about the calling this way, I was really able to, like, it was just very clear. It's helping people love themselves. Because whenever I'm in my work, whether it's training people or having a conversation about nutrition or helping people like take on a challenge that's scary to them, it's when somebody has a shift into like, oh, I could do it. Like, oh, and being kinder to themselves and loving themselves, like it's that when I light up like a Christmas tree. And it's like, and I was thinking about what you were saying, I think it was Natasha having, saving the planet in the back. And so I was thinking about, and I've been thinking about this exact thing, but like, how do I bring that into the front? It's like, this is what I'm doing. Here's what we're talking about today. Today, we're talking about personal training because we're starting that on January 9th. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was really powerful and interesting to me. It just that it's so simple. It's four words, helping people love themselves.
Great. So if that's really powerful because it's so clear. If all of you, there's a cat fight going on now, guys, shoo, stop it. If you heard that going on, it's full moon antics. What you can derive and pull out of today's experience is if you relate to your calling, name it, just the way Monty did there. The calling can occur at times like it's back here, Let me put myself in so you can see my arms waving around. Hang on. Let me just add pin. So the calling can occur like it's here. When we go through life, we experience everything front. Like it's like, here I am, I see this, I'm moving like this, da da da. Calling can be like back here. Like it's a kind of, it's calling you forward, but today I'm ignoring that. A sort of gross example of that is, I work a lot with property developers and people who work in property. And one of the things that is my calling is I don't want to see the Amazon destroyed to produce another luxury hotel, right? So my calling is so here when I'm having this conversation sometimes with them that I feel it moving forward to start to present an influence on the conversation, right? And I'm sure all of you feel these things that you're very deeply, that always when you're speaking calling, it will be highest level of intention. And it's not actually intention, but you get me when I say that. It's always the highest you. It's always the most loved you. It's always the most loving you that's coming through there because we're talking at soul level. We're not talking in the human, minutiae of what it's like to live on the planet. So Monty, when you're saying that, say it again.
My calling is helping people love themselves.
Helping people love themselves. There's a huge high frequency vibration in that. And I invite others to just say, if you've got one that dropped in during that time, what is your calling? What is the conditions of this space that's going to become your manifesting cauldron, if you like? Anyone else want to say what your calling might be or anything that you're getting out of this conversation?
Oh, Anita put her hand up. Anita, you go and
Right.
I'll go.
Okay, hang on a minute. You see, fear of
Go for it. Go for it, Laura.
Go for it.
Okay. Yeah, just
Oh,
start with
Laura, hang on.
yeah. I
I'm doing
just
the pin thing. 1 minute. 1 minute.
are you kidding me?
Pin. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I sat with that for a minute. So so Sally Shakti and I have been in conversation of, these workshops and courses we're going to teach together beginning next year. And without sharing so much, but there's a lot that's coming up about ancestral stories. And for me, I realize what I've been doing is I teach creative writing, but what I really do is I facilitate a sacred space for women to come together and share their unique stories. And often those stories involve trauma. So I'm facilitating a safe space for people to share. One of my writers said she'd been to so many writing groups and never felt comfortable to share her story of the incest that she suffered, growing up. So yeah, that's my calling, is to create safe space for people to really be in a place of vulnerability, which is also courage, really courage and strength.
Wonderful. And Anita.
Yes, amazing. Monty and Laura, you always sum up all these things that I'm thinking so well. You say things so clearly. Thank you for that. Absolutely brilliant. And I think this idea of helping people help themselves is where I'm coming up with. And it's twofold. One is my daughters, who are really important to me. So it's helping them be the best version of themselves. And by that, I don't mean necessarily the most successful in today's terms successful, but the most self-loving, confident, happy people who, my legacy, I think, when I look back from the deathbed, is have I helped create these two amazing humans who in turn can have a big ripple effect on the world around us. So I think that's my first legacy. And then if in a different way from work, if just each client I work with can have a better experience of parenthood and feel more confident in themselves, that they're really enjoying being a parent and enjoying it, again, influencing the next generation without fear and in their own way, then I think that's what I'm heading towards. I can't yet put it into 4 words. I wish I could, but I think helping people help themselves is probably as close as I can get today. But I think it's that lights me up, is just, when people can also, like Laura said, have a safe space, and they're coming in to see me to shop for their baby. So they're not really expecting to talk about anything other than what cot or pram can I buy. But actually, we don't really talk about that. We talk about that for 5 minutes maybe. And then the other, however long, we're talking about life and how can we be, the best parents that we can be, because everyone's so fearful about parenthood these days, because we don't necessarily have the blueprint we want to replicate. We don't necessarily have a guidebook, and lots of things come up out of, when you become a parent, you then delve a little bit deeper into your own history and your own life and how you live it and how you want them to live it. So it's very interesting. It's I guess helping people help themselves live as well as they can, and that means living well by being happy and fulfilled and contributing, but sort of, knowing that they're doing a good job and not always thinking they're below the bar.
Wonderful. So we're coming to the end of the session, and I'm being hyper conscious of that because I said I would stay on time. So I want to leave you guys with a little bit of a kind of inquiry to do, which is the first stage of manifesting. The first stage of manifesting is what we've just gone through. The discomfort of knowing that what you want is not what you want. I like, I request, I desire that you write down that intention. You could do the want and the intention. And then I want you to write right under it, what I want is not what I want. My intention is not what I want. So that's the first bit. The second bit is to experience the conditions of this old operating system. You cannot step into your new operating system. It's like a mind-blowing shift. The most recent one that I had of the mind-blowing shifts, because I've had so many on rocket-powered levels, but I want to explain a really, really, really simple, what might even occur like a stupid one. I was grappling with this thing of, it took me forever to get this mortgage. Lots of you know about the boring story that was, but 18 months of trying to get a mortgage. I finally get the mortgage. So I got what I want, right? It was torture to get there. It was just like proving so many things, and it was so complicated and difficult, which is not my experience from the past, because I used to work in property. I had 12 mortgages running at one point. To even get this one mortgage was like, it was torture. So all the uncomfortable feelings I had of this exhausting process over a year and a half, I finally get what I want, right? Boom, got what I want. Then what happens shortly after that, and I released a bit of equity, I paid off a ton of bills. I then started treating myself, which was the other side of, I've been practical. I've got this thing. I've paid off all this stuff. I've got this mortgage. It's all practical. The next bit is pleasure, which is all to do with the feminine. And the pleasure factor, I went and bought 5 tops all at once in a shop. Had the money. There's no problem with that. I've got what I want. And then when I came home, I was hit with this. Oh, I'm just going to interrupt this. I will be emailing the recording out, Linda, if you're zooming off. But what I want, because I don't know you, can you pop your email in here? Anybody who I don't have your email, I'm going to send it out to you. I know most of you, but if I don't know you, please pop your email in here and I'll send it to you. Okay. So there I am. I bought 5 tops. I'm in the pleasure piece, which is really what one ought to do, right? When you've actually got what you want, you should enjoy it. But instead what happens is I go home with these 5 tops and I have a near panic, which took over the central portion of my body. I could feel it like from stomach straight through the heart and felt suffocated. A sort of panicky thing. And I'm like, oh my God, well, maybe it's been so hard. Maybe if I just take 2 of them back, 2 will be okay. I can manage, I can have 3, but not 2. Like this garbage starts going on. And I'm in hyper outer space of this. It doesn't last for 1 day, it lasts for 2 days. And I am out of my mind with this frenetic, annoying conversation because I've got what I want. What the hell? I'm going, come on, chill out. It's 2 tops. It's a top, get a grip. But none of that was working. And until I got, this is my old operating system. This is all the old influences that have been part of the family, part of the wealth story of my family, part of not going for too much, not too much pleasure, don't have too much of that. That's old operating system. And then I suddenly got, that means new operating system is every piece of my success includes clothes. Every piece of my success includes clothes, because that's how I show in the masculine how I've achieved something. It's how I go, I got what I want. I am on this level. And the non-negotiable factor of that, which altered everything, was I get to always have clothes. Always. I get to always blow money on clothes. And it's not even blow, even that's got a conditional aspect. I get as many clothes as I want whenever I have these bouts of success. That's an integral part of it. And something altered in me. I went, whoa, like, whoa, clothes are non-negotiable. This is who I am. This is how I express myself. Fashion, clothes is my thing. And I don't spend it on all sorts of things. That's not to refute it, but I'm trying to get you to get this. I don't spend it on all sorts of things. It has to be on clothes. It is exciting to me to be on clothes. So when I get what I want, next level of new operating system, go spend some money on clothes, right? It's part of the saturation of the pleasure factor. It goes into my pores when I get new clothes. We don't get to experience our new self until you step into it. You don't get what you want until you've, from this moment to the next, there's that space and you're entirely different. You're alchemically different when you've gotten to next space. And from this perspective right now, we cannot see next space at all. So everything that you want from this space, I put to you like a hypothetical observation paradox, whatever you want to call it, is you are not asking for what you want. You will be operating on, you're asking what you think you want based on all the old paradigms. And so that's a piece. And the third piece that I want to drop in is notice where the rebellion was. Where was the body rebellion that, the right breast, the left ovary was screaming, I don't get what I want, where was that kicking off? And the piece that is to really leave you with, we're on a full moon now. We're going to, the next full moon is on the 6th of January. It's the first full moon of the year. Auspicious whenever you have a first full moon or a first new moon of the next year. It sets a tone. What we have today is we've got full moon in Gemini. And what we've done is we've talked and we've communicated around things. Where we're going in the 6th is the second stage of this, as if by magic, masterclass, will be the 6th of Friday the 6th, full moon in Cancer. And what that is we're stepping into the feeling, the absolute feeling, and the home. Like, where do you, when you feel you got what you want, there'll be this, oh, I'm home. Oh, there's this just delicious experience. So that's why we're doing that on that day. Your only observation right now, because you are manifesting as we're doing this, right? You're manifesting what you want, but you're just being told some things along the way, which is that right now, you don't know what you want. You think you do, but there'll be an intention behind the intention. Your job for a moon cycle is to just keep asking that question. If I think I want money, then intend money. Intend it. Go for it. This is old operating system. Intend money. If you want to intend the love of your life, go for it. If you want to intend your program being filled out with fantastic new clients, all who've paid, in full, whatever, up front, intend that. It doesn't matter what you do. I want you to just notice that this is my intention as of today. This is where my operating system kicks off when I'm told I don't get what I want. Notice that in the body. Be very in touch with that part of your body for a whole month cycle. Rub it, rub your right breast there, Anita, in meetings, your left ovary. Rub whatever it is that you need to rub in private or in public. Rub on people and breathe in. When you have moments, just breathe into that spaciousness. Whenever it goes, oh my God, I don't get what I want, breathe that in. Breathe it in fully. Breathe in the tantrum. Breathe in the, I'm going to, kill somebody because I don't get what I want. Breathe it in. And we will resume in a month after winter solstice, after Christmas, after whatever you celebrate or don't celebrate, after ski season, after all of that, and we can meet. And so put that in your diary and allow yourself the full month of forgetting, then remembering, then forgetting, then remembering this little piece of homework. You're going to notice your body. You're going to notice what it is that you intend. And you're going to absorb this feeling of, I don't get what I want. And here's my calling. What is my calling? And that's it. It's the beginning. So Linda, I've got your email. If you're still there, I've got your email. I will definitely send you this recording. Does everybody want this recording sent to them? I assume it would be useful. Yeah, it would be useful. So is there anything else that anybody wants to say at all?
Just thank you very much. That was amazing. Really lovely way to spend an hour. Really
Aw.
wonderful.
Very lovely. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Pleasure. And the thing is, you're all going to get what you want. We're going to manifest massively, right? So this is, it's a very strange way of going about it, but it's the depth that I've gone to start to observe how manifestation really, really works. Really, really. So enjoy and don't give yourself a hard time. If you want to ever connect with me about, ooh, this happened, I had a shift of something, I realized something, please send me a WhatsApp message. And I'm just basically, I've got Julie as well. Hi, Julie, lovely to meet you. I've got you as well. I don't have my assistant on this to be able to do this little, mop up job. But I will send these out, and I wish you all a very beautiful holiday season and that we will really be manifesting something amazing. I'm taking this work straight into a course in the end of February, and I'm mentioning it now because if you want to really go to town on manifesting something huge next year, then let's go, because I'm really up for it. But all of this is free. The masterclasses are free. They're to get you into the zone. Next stage will be really powerful, next stage. And I'll love you and leave you, but I just wanted to say some of these comments are pretty amazing. So Sheena, you're saying it's about enoughness. More than enoughness. Yeah. Sending you lots of love.
Happy
Thank
holidays,
you.
everybody.
Happy holidays.
Happy
Bye.
holidays.
Thank you.
Happy full moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. See you
Bye.
soon. Bye, everyone.
Lots of
Bye.
love.
Let's love. Do you have? Let's chat for.
Sure, I'll end the recording. Lovely to see you, Linda and Julie, who I don't know. It's so nice to have you here. Just saying. And let me turn the recording off.